Well, today I want to talk about democratic socialism. It seems to be the big buzzword right now. Socialism. It's the big evil. Many generations before us fought wars. We're scared. We're taken out by fundamentalists and authoritarians who paraded under the socialist label. So there is some fear behind it. And I can understand that. Some people have some, ingrained beliefs that are hard to get rid of generationally, and I understand and respect that. However, it's not the boogeyman that it's made out to be. We have many socialist, I was going to say entities, but it's more aspects of our society. Our police department, our fire department, our roads department, education. All of this are socialist ideas. What does socialism mean? The means of production controlled by the people. Well, there has to be some regulation, or else we just have anarchy, and that's not always the answer. But, so, means of production controlled by the worker. So that means workers' rights, safety regulations, days off. Everything the union movement has always meant was designed to protect. That's why we have a lot of the rights and freedoms that we do today, because of all the battles that were fought. People got beaten and killed just so we could enjoy our rights. We say that about soldiers a lot, but I think more respect needs to be paid to all those who fought all the old Union battles, who got beaten and killed for standing up for what they believe in. Now, there are many candidates nowadays who parade under the democratic socialist label. Many young progressives. And they're showing basically that it means free Medicare for all, universal child care, money out of politics. So many things that many people would agree with, but they get caught up on this label. Are we going to let labels destroy us? Because something is labeled something that you think is one way and somebody else thinks is another way, you forget about the ideas that are actually behind it. This is where labeling can get us into trouble. Now, it's not to say that we need to categorize things to make sense of chaos. We do. We do need to make sense of things in our minds so it's digestible, so the information is digestible for us to compute in our daily lives. Now, socialism, it's scary. National socialist, right? Hitler was a nationalist socialist. Okay. So you take the first half of that label, nationalist, basically meaning our country is better than everyone else. We have the right to boot out whoever we want for whatever reason we want, to keep a purity of culture, of skin tone, of religion, or the lack thereof. Okay. The nationalism that's going on in our country right now isn't national socialist, maybe nationalist fascist, if that's even a thing. But at any rate, the people that we want to reach, the people that we want to talk to are just regular people, right? Regular people with real needs. Struggling to pay the bills, struggling to keep the lights on, food on the table, having a tiny bit of social life, taking care of your kids, doing all their activities. These prices add up. Now, if you're not a billionaire, well, that can be hard to pull off, right? You struggle just to stay afloat. I get it. I've done it. I've been there. I am there. So when someone talks about ways to fix things, to make our lives a little easier, so the billionaires and gatekeepers and elites and whatever other adjective we want to use keep making more and more money as things get deregulated and deregulated. So we have less protections. Our financial position goes down. Theirs goes up. Wealth gap gets bigger. Wouldn't we want to fix that somehow? Are we going to get caught up on labels to stop us from fixing that? Now, I've heard some people say before, well, why don't you just lose the label? Stop calling yourself a democratic socialist, but just still talk about all the same ideas. What's the big deal? I heard this a lot during Bernie Sanders' 2 runs, who also claimed himself a democratic socialist. Why would you hang on to a label so much when it could be the one thing that could prevent people from voting for you? Why would it stop? If you like somebody's ideas and their platform and their authenticity and the way they talk and just where they come, if you like the whole package, yet you don't like what they're labeled, maybe it's you that has the problem. Maybe it's not them. Maybe it's you that thinks, oh, well, I like all these ideas, but I can't go for it because it's called something I don't like. What about, the people who said, oh, I hate Obamacare, but I love the Affordable Care Act. What about that? People who loved an idea but didn't like the label, so they thought they were supporting something they were against or against something they supported. I mean, the whole thing is too confusing to even try to figure out. So it's a waste of our time. But what's not a waste of our time is figuring out why we can't just be for the things we're for. Why can't we just fight for what we believe in? Right? That's what all those original union battles were about. That's what many protests are about. That's what many gatherings in this free country that were supposed to build people up, not tear them down. That's the exact reason we left England in the first place. We certainly weren't democratic socialists then. I mean, a lot of people talk about you can bring up the Declaration of Independence and the fact that all men are created equal. White, Protestant, slave-owning, aristocratic white males, to steal a line from Dazed and Confused. So even that labels can destroy us if we get too caught up on them. If someone wants to label themselves something, if somebody wants to call themselves something, that's fine. We have no right to tell them not to. Because they don't have a right to tell us what we can label ourselves. But if we don't take the time to see their authenticity, we could be losing out on something that will really save us as a society, as a people, as a culture. And when I say culture, I mean humanity. Well, if you like what you heard, please remember to like, share, and subscribe. And a couple parting words, because I know this is dragging on, but I have a lot to say. Don't miss out. Don't throw something out just because you don't like what it's called. Something might be labeled democratic socialism, but if it can help balance out the scales, if it can put some more money in your bank account, if it can tax the rich so we're not in such a deficit all the time. So we have plenty of money for programs and social safety nets and taking care of the least among us and closing the wealth gap. Because the true measure of a society, right, is the size of the middle. The bigger the gap, the more authoritarian it becomes. So whether we close that gap with democratic socialism or democratic social democracy, with who cares? If we can save it, that's all that matters. Someone wants to label themselves something, who cares? If they can save us, if they can help push the envelope to get us all to work to make it happen, then that's what we need to do. We need to be there for each other. We need to love each other. We need to be kind. Then we'll see who's the real socialist. We're social beings. We need to be there for each other, whatever it's labeled and whatever it's called.